All righty, folks, and welcome back to Trainwreck tonight. 347, sponsored by, again, the place to buy a case, the place that took care of you on July 4th. It's going to take care of you all summer long. Outlet Liquor, Georgia Urban Boulevard in Depew. Hope all the passengers on this train had a great July 4th weekend. I don't know if I looked into the logistics before, but give me July 4th on, a Thursday every year. Gets you that Friday off, gets you a 4-day weekend. It's the best of all worlds. Everyone's saying you can create that some other way. I don't think so. I think if it's on a Wednesday, people are going to force you to work the 5th, the 6th. I think that, if you put it early in the week, you're going to have to do the later in the week. I think Thursday is the perfect spot for the 4th. But with that said, I got to talk about something that's not so perfect anymore, and that is fireworks situation. Hold on. I got them blowing up in my ear right now. Let's bring this in. Share the screen. Share the screen. Nice and easy. Okay. I mean, look at these fireworks, folks. You're at a stadium and fireworks. Look at these coming right into the stands. Right in Provo, Utah. Those poor Mormons. I mean, I was just aghast when I saw this, and it reminded me of the one thing I always get reminded of in every of the last couple years, ever since the Jason Pierre-Paul incident, okay? I mean, I don't know why we're doing the fireworks. I don't know why we're doing the exploding stuff. We have drones. We have all kinds of other options. We have all kinds of other alternatives for July 4th. So that was the only thing that stuck with me. I was out on a boat. I was out in the water. Sure, it's nice to look at fireworks far away. I don't want them going off 5 feet from me, and I sure as hell don't want them launching into a stand when I'm trying to enjoy a nice, display of patriotism in a stadium in Provo, Utah, which is happening here. But that's the start of our weekend recap. We got a long weekend recap. Obviously, it's a holiday weekend, and I'd be remiss not to talk some banana action, some banana land taking place in Buffalo. Savannah Bananas obviously coming to Buffalo. And listen, I might have a little egg on my face, or in this case, I might have banana on my face because I, was kind of a hater. They were setting up the ticket situation, wasn't exactly, well done. You can see this footage here, courtesy of our friend Jonah Bronstein. But yeah, I think the Savannah Bananas put on an absolute show. And the fact that you got Buffalo on prime time, Friday night TV on ESPN was awesome. And that was a great opportunity. Great. We took advantage of that opportunity. So shout out Buffalo. Shout out the Savannah Bananas. I mean, the shortstop, you got Stilts. I'm familiar with a little bit, but I mean, the ticket situation rubbed me the wrong way. The ticket situation rubbed me the wrong way because it was a train wreck. You know how we deal with train wrecks here. We bring them to the surface and we point them out. You're emailing people to get them to refund their tickets when they're clearly in a high and massive demand. I mean, the resale market was double. So emailing people saying you're going to credit them back obviously was silly, but that's what the Bananas specialize in. The silliness on the baseball field, a lot better than the silliness in the email inbox. I'll give them credit as far as that's concerned. So yeah, great weekend series for Savannah Bananas. And I guess, I didn't go. I to be honest, I saw it all on TV. I've been familiar with the product, and I had a lot of friends that were go, and I consider us all, baseball fans and everything. They said they had a great time. So, again, like I said, banana on my face, egg on my face in this case regarding the Sav Bananas. Great show put on by them, and it sounds like everyone who went, as long as you find a parking spot, had a great time. So shout out to them, and shout out to the Savannah Bananas. As we're going along in the weekend recap, we closed out the weekend, I think it was actually on Saturday, with a Caitlin Clark triple-double. Why am I typing this live? Why are we doing this? Why? But plain and simple, this is why we had to bring it up. First WNBA rookie to record first rookie in WNBA history to record a triple-double. Am I clueless that I didn't know she had the OG LeBron style shoes for her shoe? That's pretty awesome. But yeah, I mean, again, first rookie in WNBA history to drop a triple-double. And there's a lot of talk. There's been talk comparing these two all season. You got the Caitlin Clark side of things. You got the Angel Reese, and Angel Reese side tends to be a little bit more of the traditional WNBA fan, the traditional women's sports fan. For some reason, I don't know why it's happening that way. I don't know why it's breaking down that way. That's just the way that I see the discourse in my limited window happening. But again, the Caitlin Clark triple-double, I think Angel Reese just got her 11th straight double-double in a row or so, 11 or 12, to set her own record. So they're rewriting the history books already. It's awesome that we're getting an influx of entertaining, captivating talent in the WNBA, something that on a weekend is going on. And by the way, kudos to them. 1 p.m. on a Saturday, a lot easier to take in, a game, I think, than on prime time or something, with more competition on the entertainment sphere. So kudos to them and kudos to WNBA for decision makers for however that ended up there. Maybe it was a victim of circumstance and they don't want it that way. They want it in prime time. But I think for someone like me who's looking to consume sports all weekend, makes it a little easier when you throw it in there Saturday at 1, especially when there aren't a huge slate of MLB games. But so that was awesome to see. Again, Caitlin, I don't know how many games we have left in this season. Let me see. Let's check this out real quick. 40 games. So we're just about over halfway through the season. There is much opportunity for another triple double. There's a lot of opportunity for more history between these two. So very exciting to see and can't wait to see what happens. Speaking of which, can't wait to see what happens is a perfect segue into this next one, because apparently it's week 2 or something here in Wimbledon and we're still having delays. You can see here, let me see if we can bring it up, some of the commentary on tennis Twitter. This is going to show the whole screen. Of course, I get it. Remove. Now I'll pull up the Wimbledon delays. It's just all photos. Don't worry, folks. Nothing exciting. There we go. But yeah, too many delays. Plain and simple. And I get it. You can't control the weather. Can't, force Mother Nature. But I'm looking at here, Brady Blackburn. After Wimbledon plagued by walkovers and medical retirements, I've been saying for 30 years they need to push Wimbledon to later in the season after the UK's rainy season is over. And it seems like there's some truth there, because literally every day, almost every match getting affected in one way or another by these delays. Either people's scheduled matches are getting put at another time, or they're having to start and restart the match. In some cases, multiple times, which is crazy as far as professional expectation. I want you to think about restarting, an MLB game 2 to 3 times. Doesn't happen. There's no other sport where it does happen. NFL, no, a game does not get restarted multiple times. For some reason, it happens in tennis. Maybe, NASCAR, you can say as well, golf potentially, but it just doesn't make sense. And when you can control the elements, when you can have more overhead roofs, why we're having delays at Wimbledon. I don't know why we're having delays for darkness at Wimbledon, because we're running out of time. I mean, let's get lights out there. And there's just a lot of things that don't make sense about Wimbledon that are easy fixes, especially if you're trying to make, obviously, tennis a more attractive product to the mainstream. And I think that's what you want to do. It's what you're hoping to do, especially with Wimbledon. You're trying to put your best foot forward. But unfortunately, we got, again, these conundrums where Wimbledon gets to get delayed. And then, of course, you'd like to think you're getting the same product. You like to think you're seeing these athletes battle through all the, adversity and everything they're going through. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that's the case in that one. So we'll see. Again, they're in the second week, I guess, and they're still in the second round of doubles. That's not good. So we'll see. Speaking of we'll see, we saw a great WWE paper PLE this weekend in Toronto, Canada. Money in the Bank. Good show. A lot of people saying not enough wrestling. It was about an hour and a half of wrestling on a 3-hour and 30-minute show. I tend to agree. I think it should be over half wrestling. That's not much to ask for that. But the one other complaint is that Drew McIntyre cashed in his Money in the Bank, and CM Punk essentially cost him the shot. Thus, essentially no Money in the Bank for the men's side of things for this season. So that is disappointing. But as our chat has correctly noted, that, with Cody Rhodes wearing the title, and then, Damian Priest and potentially Gunther taking that title over later in the summer, you're not exactly going to be cashing in on those guys or in an urge to get the title off those guys in any haste, in any sense of the word. But with that said, the biggest takeaway from Money in the Bank is John Cena retiring. Shocking. This would be like, walking into Outlet Liquor and not being the place to buy a case. I couldn't believe that he came out and said he's going to retire. Obviously, you look at his work rate, you look at his life balance, seems to make a lot of sense. But yeah, it's still unbelievable. I mean, this is the guy, this is the doctor of thugonomics from 20 years ago, retiring, hanging him up, unbelievable. Now, again, there are a lot of details here. Apparently, he's going to be on a much heavier work schedule. Apparently, he is going to be in the Royal Rumble. Apparently, he is going to be in the Money in the Bank. We'll see. But the jorts are going to be gone. The jorts will be gone after he retires. He's going to be in suit and tie from that point on. He will remain in the WWE family. And again, so it's an in-ring and tie retirement. I don't know if it's an in-ring retirement as much as it is like his final road to WrestleMania in that one. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, wants to help contribute and help future generations. Good to see. But I mean, John Cena, John Cena was in the late 2000s, early 2010s, when nobody from wrestling was penetrating like the mainstream. He was doing it on the regular, and him like, boop, 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 boop. I feel like, even though it might have been his character, it might have been a victim of circumstance. I like to think that, he played some role in ultimately cultivating that for himself. And I think if you asked him, he would agree as well. Kind of just wrapping it up. We're definitely on the second half of Trainwreck. Quick show again. We got a nice weather day. Got a nice weather week. We are 2 weeks out from training camp for the Bills starting, so we have a long road ahead. We're not going to overdo it. We got a long season ahead. But millions of dollars of cards stolen in the middle of a convention floor. Apparently, 2 Mickey Mantle cards valued at almost 200,000 combined. Here's a quote from the owner. Here's the best footage I have at the moment. In this video, my team and the guy in the bright line quarterback were carefully distracted by the 3 people you see in hats showing their phones. The man seen taking the case from under the table in the middle of the square of tables had been stacking chairs near the booth for over an hour, and we thought he worked there. These guys have been scoping us all day after footage review, and we even went through process of changing clothes. It was predetermined and targeted because they knew exactly which case to take, which contained a large portion of my inventory. We'll link the photos below. So I'm trying to. All right. So I'm seeing distraction with the phones here. And then this guy just walks in. I mean, that's crazy. First off, they're saying this was potentially $1 million heist. But I mean, the craziness is this guy goes and grabs it. And at that moment, I mean, he's like, it's grand larceny or whatever it's called. Like, it's crazy how quickly that could happen. Again, you're talking about 2 attendants apparently distracted, simultaneously. They're pointing, it's pointing, look over here. I mean, that's crazy. That is crazy. So, hopefully he gets back. I got to assume that when you're rolling around with that much in items, that it's insured in some way. Just because, what's to keep you from getting basically, mugged? I'd say something like that. But yeah, you're rolling around with millions of dollars worth of stuff. You think you'd have security as well, maybe something like that. But that is crazy. And yeah, it sounds like from the quote they were clearly getting cased, scouted out, and then eventually taken for what they were worth there. You hate to see that. You hate to see that. Speaking of things you hate to see, you know, people might call me a hater. I mean, this white party from Michael Rubin, this is still kind of technically the weekend recap, I guess. Yeah, Drake. I don't know who that is. Michael Strahan, KD, James Harden, MGK, I think, Quavo, OBJ, potential former Bill. But yeah, I mean, I like to see the internet people making these circles. Like I said, I like to see Drewski in there. I mean, Lil Wayne performing live is still the most in-demand thing of anybody. I mean, if you're telling me that, 16 years ago when the Carter 3, 17 years ago when the Carter 3 was coming out, I wouldn't have believed you. But that just shows how timeless and in-demand Lil Wayne is. But yeah, you hate to see the white party. I mean, you'd hope the power would go out or something there, something bad would happen. Not anything long-term, but maybe maybe everyone gets food poisoning or something, that everyone, is okay with. But, you're jealous you're not there. That's me. I'm jealous that I'm not there. That's plain and simple. I'm honest about it. Speaking of honest, we have a big week ahead, a big week ahead, a big week ahead. We got Wimbledon going every day. Okay. Then this Friday, this weekend, we got the Justition Smoldered Society Bubble Hockey event. Those boys will be popping off. You know that when they throw an event, they don't mess around. You got the second annual Crossbar Athletics 3v3. I believe Stevie Johnson will be hosting. I believe there will be a bevy of entertainment and craziness going on there. And then you got the British Open finishing up amongst Wimbledon. So you got a hell of a week. And then don't forget, that's to tally off with into the Monday of the Home Run Derby, into the Tuesday of the MLB All-Star Game. And then you have the drought that Wednesday, Thursday, where you don't really have any MLB, you don't have any major sports. It's basically the ultimate drought before you're 2 weeks away from NFL preseason. And then training camp, obviously, the week after that. So things are going to get crazy, and things are going to get crazy real quick. We appreciate you all tuning in. If you want to see us, come hang out at these events, the Justition Bubble Hockey, as well as the Crossbar Athletics 3v3 tournament. I believe that's at Delaware Park. Come out and say hello. But besides that, let's have a great time. Shout out, sign us, everyone having a good time. That's all I can say. It seems like everyone's happy. Seems like everyone's in a good mood. Let's keep that vibe going. I do feel the craziness of the Buffalo Bills season coming amongst us, coming upon us. I can feel it already, given on certain discussions, certain back and forths I've been seeing. But that said, strap in, hang on tight, and let's have a good night